You're welcome to the afternoon segment of the WebTV Coronomics Discourse, where we give you updates on the impact of coronavirus on Nigeria and the implications, and also discuss strategic management in this period. First, the update is that Nigeria's confirmed cases remain 276, with 44 recoveries and 6 deaths. That is the update for now from the National Center for Disease Control. Let's get on to our discussions around strategic management with Mr. John Wesley, strategic management consultant. We'll continue our conversation on leadership. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you, Otto.
And you look great on your lace material. Nice one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So how's lockdown day 10 going?
Day 10, so far, so good. We could say we are doing 50% because the citizens are getting jumpy.
Yeah.
And we're not used to finding ourselves in this state.
Yes.
Okay. Are the authorities doing their best? Yes, they are doing their best, except for the unpleasant incident of yesterday in Abuja, where the Accountant General's office, got burnt. Then the fact that some people were knowingly flouting the orders that they should stay
at home guidelines.
They had no cogent reason or the appropriate pass for them to be on the streets. Be that as we're doing well. Could it be better? Of course, there is always room for improvement. Yes.
Who would have believed that someone can have a 10-day lockdown and not go? I mean, these are things that come to the fore, and one has to really adapt, like you said in one of the sessions, accept and adapt and improve, learn, get new skills going. I mean, nice sessions with you. And so today we're going to continue our discussion around vocalized leadership. We didn't complete it yesterday. It was very interesting. So we'll continue today. This is an area I like very much, and it's about being an expert at collaboration. Collaboration is very key. Yesterday we talked about compassion and connection. Collaboration is essential in such components and qualities.
That's true.
How important is that in the vocalized leadership concept?
In the season that we are in now, because there is so much uncertainty,
yes,
you are contending with issues or scenarios that you probably didn't envisage, or no one ever envisaged. So what you now do, like if you see what has happened, the entire supply chain, for manufacturing globally has
been disrupted,
down.
Yes.
Okay, it has broken down.
Yes.
However, within the purview for your need to still provide leadership or get your operations on, you get my point. What do you do? As a leader, so what you now need to do is you bring out your collaborative skills, your team working skills, okay? You raise a high-performance team, to be able to support you. When we talk about being expert at collaboration, what we're actually saying is that you're able to discern, okay, quickly. You're able to discern the resources and the organizations or the people you need to deploy and use during that period as we are in now. Yeah. For example, one of the issues we raised yesterday was that how many people have been trained on the ability to be able to treat and provide support for confirmed cases. Yes. As we do more testing, it ramps up. Now, I think I got a number of that from NCDC that they've been able to train about 8,000 Nigerian medical or health professionals. Now, that's fantastic. Now, those 8,000, where are they located?
So about 50% of them are even from the private sector.
Fantastic. Yes, because this is the time for you to collaborate with the other private hospitals. Yes. This is the time for you to find out how many of you have ventilators, how many of you have all those required equipment. Yes. Please give us your inventory. Yeah. That you're bringing your collaborative skills. You raise the game up. You get my point? They're your suppliers, your logistics. How am I going to move my staff, in this situation, within this period? Yes. So who can we work with in terms of transportation? Look at what Air Peace is doing. Yeah. Now, this government has been able to find a Nigerian carrier, a Nigerian flag airline with Nigerian flag, to be able to do what? Come up at this time to help us. Yeah. They've done a number of flights to China, the first flight to China, direct flight from Nigeria to China.
That's remarkable.
It is remarkable. Then to Israel.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they've also done to the US, from what I gather.
Yeah.
Now, what you're saying, how do you collaborate with people to help you get your activities going? Because you are working at suboptimal level.
Yeah.
Because you are working, so you now determine or decide. Again, this takes about critical thinking. Yeah. Who are we going to use, and why must we use them? How efficient are they at this period?
Yes.
To support us so that we can provide the minimal effort that we need. Again, you look at what is the kind of resources that we need or services that we need so that we can see offer service. Yeah. For example, if you look at what is happening in the banking sector, thank God for the stage at which is a financial inclusion, they call it, making banking services to get to the unbanked.
Yes, that's financial inclusion strategy.
Yes, they are pushing everyone to where? Through e-channels. Yes, yeah. So now, that's why you see that all the telcos and the adjacent firms
in that value chain.
In that value chain, they have what? Special passes. So you are collaborating with them to make sure that the networks are up, so that when you and I still want to transact businesses via internet. So these are people you bring all of these skills to bear and share with it. Yeah. This is not the time you hold full authority. You will delegate some. This is not the time you are looking at loyalty alone. Yes. The most important skill you need for effective collaboration so that you can achieve your optimal result is competence. Who are those people that have the competence for you to achieve that minimal result that you need? Even if the person is not somebody you like, but if he or she has that competence you need at this time, okay? Because you can't afford to fail, especially if you are providing a critical service.
In the sector you are.
In the industry that you find yourself. Yeah. So this is the time firms must do that. And this is also the time you now know who actually have been your friends amongst your service providers. Yeah. Who will give concessions, or who are you going to try and take advantage of? So, but this is not the time. Here is the time we all should bring our human hearts to the forefront, which is why I talked about what? Compassion yesterday. Yeah. Because compassion talks about sharing, it talks about charity, it talks about love, it talks about connection. Let's scale this season together. Yeah.
Work together as a people.
Absolutely.
And then the people skills, the people orientation comes into the fore for leaders. As a CEO in your company, how do you drive that people skills? Because some leaders are very good drivers. Like here in Silicon Valley, there are some leaders doing very well in terms of their companies, but their people skills are challenged. And this kind of time, you need leaders with that people skills.
That is true. We all are, maybe not the people skills are not, it's not the real word we may probably want to use, or the phrase. Yeah. We may want to talk about their emotional intelligence.
Okay.
You get
that's much better.
We want to talk about their emotional intelligence.
Yes.
At this time, what leaders are expected to demonstrate and express is their emotional intelligence. If you don't have it, if your 2IC has it, your second in command has it, or if your 3IC has it, your third in command, push them to do that bit for you.
So they come to the fore.
They come to the fore. Then you are the background, okay?
Giving the support.
Giving the tech. If you get a techie, I mean, I have a technology background myself. Yes. So you get my. If you are a technical person, so you stay at the back and lead the technical team, and let those who are strong emotional quotient, to be able to be the one reaching out to staff, reaching out to customers or to your clients, reaching out to the people, as the case may be. Now, if you look at our federal government, we're in a unique time for which all of us have lessons to draw from this season. Here is an opportunity for all of us to evaluate every single one of our leaders, federal, state, local government. Okay? The same thing you'll find in private enterprises. So every one of us, we're evaluating the kind of leaders that we have.
Yeah. In terms of their understanding of
emotional
intelligence and the issues
being
around
able to
collaboration. To drive that collaboration.
Being able to make sure that things go in. It is not about me any longer. It's about a system. It's about survival. It's about helping our people to cross from one stage to another. Like, you know, most firms now have rolled out a business continuity plan. That's what's on now. Okay? So what are they doing to sustain their current operation? So even if some people are doing skeletal service or skeletal services, so only the very necessary people are in the office. While they are there, who is monitoring them?
The remote operations.
This is not the time to be making unnecessary demands from your employer. Trust me, it is not the time. But it's also the time for employers of labor to also show empathy, to demonstrate empathy, to support those staff who are
at the front line.
The front line, you know, getting things done, getting the company operations to still be at work. What motivational tools, I think we mentioned either last week or earlier in the week, what motivational tools as an employer do you bring? For example, this is the time during break for the MD CEO, during lunch, he says, guys, let's eat. And everybody sit down on a round table. You just sit down casually and have conversations and all that. To feel them. So it gives them a sense of what? Belonging. Oh, so you mean this is a wonder. So, and this improves productivity and make sure that your service level, your minimal service level that you have targeted for this season does not what? Drop. It doesn't drop. So these are the things that we expect our leaders to do, as the case may be. If you, like I said, if you have not been doing this before, you can't start doing it now. It will just show.
That has been developed.
And if you have very competent people who are reporting to you, they will be what? Frustrated. Frustration is what you will see. And you, especially if you're not a very open leader, if your leadership style, if you've not grown to receive feedback and to effectively delegate, you get my point.
Yes.
You'll be trying to still oppress them, and you'll be doing the command and control. You will not get the result that you want. So your troop will just step back and allow you to do all the things.
And when you do everything, it will be very stressful for you.
Stress. So you won't achieve your minimal service level objective for this season in a crisis. You get my point? For this season. So I am hoping that this season, all of us, none of us is perfect. We're all a work in progress. Like I say, as long as we are breathing, we're all a work in progress. So this gives us the opportunity for our subs, our staff, our partners, our collaborators to evaluate the kind of leadership that we truly are. First, how good we are at decision making. Who are our teams supporting us? How do we understand each other? Like I'm offering service to you now. How have you been seeing me?
Yes.
And how have I been seeing? Yes. How have I also been seeing you? So this is the season, like they say, is the moment of truth. We all begin to manifest this, as the case may be.
How important is acknowledgement? For example, our president, when he was giving his address, called us the DG of the NCDC, saying they're proud of what he's doing. I mean, how important is that sometimes to really, really encourage, inspire work of people that are really at the front line doing a very good job?
Not sometimes.
Okay.
When you say thank you, thank you is a driver for higher performance.
Yeah.
Every time you say thank you, and sincerely so, you pump somebody up. It's like a primer. It primes, pump, and you see performance and commitment jump up.
Yeah.
When the president gave those, expressed those acknowledgements, are you getting my point? There is no way everybody, he didn't just mention the NCDC. He also mentioned the entire health system people who are offering that service.
Yes.
You get the point? Everybody was happy. They will go out and give their best shot. It's very important to say thank you. And we all know that. It's very, very important for us to say thank you.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what is happening.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the effort your team put in place in this season is very important. just thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
this is lovely. This is
Yeah.
wonderful. And you sincerely mean it. It's not that you are chanting
Just saying
it.
it because you want to say it.
Because you want to
Just
say
saying
it.
that, yes, we acknowledge your sacrifice, your dedication, your resilience, and the innovation you brought.
Because you will do other things. The thank you is not just word of mouth. You will demonstrate it in empathy.
Yes.
You will demonstrate it in letters later on when you go back to business normal.
Yeah.
Okay, when you revert back to your normal operation, in acknowledgement, letters of commendation.
Yes.
You get my point? Or something to just acknowledge the contribution of those team of people.
Yes.
There is no one that does not like appreciation. There is no one. Oh, thank you for this. It was a wonderful thing you guys did. You get my point?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Very,
So the president did well,
Yeah.
and that's why you see everybody, woke up.
Giving their best,
Giving
ensuring
their
that
best.
they scale up the operations.
Like, are we seeing the president at the forefront of this crisis? No.
But we're
But
seeing
he has
force, the
delegated people,
Yeah.
and he has said, go ahead. You get my point? So
Yes.
I think, yes, showing appreciation is a fantastic morale booster.
It is very critical for presidents across the world, head of governments, to continue to appreciate health workers and all those at the forefront, ensuring that things go normal during this period. It's part of that very important thing.
You see, again, it has to do with the creative ability.
The creative ability.
Of the person that is leading.
Okay.
Sure, you get the point.
Yes.
Yesterday we talked about how do you, when you make tough decisions, you are inconveniencing people.
Yeah.
You get the point.
Yes.
But they must also see you in the forefront, however it is.
Yeah.
Also sharing out of that. Because
out of that
inconvenience, out of that sacrifice. Because they see you also sharing out of the sacrifice, or even taking more of the sacrifice. You get my point, or sacrifices as the case may be.
Yeah.
Then so it becomes easy for the troop to follow. It becomes easy for people to believe you and stay where you are. It becomes easy for the comments that you'll be getting to be positive.
Yeah, in terms of that aspect. Now, adaptability to situations, scenario proofed. How important is this aspect when we look at vocalized leadership?
Again, because in a VUCA situation or in uncertain seasons as we are at now, it then means as things are happening, you have a crack team that are building what ifs or that have built what ifs. Sure, you get my point.
Those scenarios, yes.
Yes. So that's what you're saying. That we are here now. What are the scenarios that you initially had in your business continuity plan should you suffer a crisis? When you resurrect them, and as things change, as situations change, what are the options you have to run your business? Those options that you have are the scenarios you have built. So a vocalized leader is scenario proofed. We say he or she is scenario proofed.
He or she, we have to also acknowledge the leaders.
We say he or she.
Leading,
We say he or she is scenario proofed. That if you give options to your leader, she easily assimilates and is able to decipher that, yes, this will work. Or he or she will ask, questions. Why are we taking this?
What's the end game?
What's the end game? What will it look like?
Yeah.
Okay? What does this mean in terms of X, in terms of Y, in terms of I, in terms of J? You get my point?
Yeah.
So, again, you must have these things. And you must have had the opportunity to have quality work experience. The fact that you've been working in a place for 20, 25 years and doing the same thing, it's not
good.
It's not necessarily
so
it's not necessarily what qualifies you for leadership at this time, because there are discerning competencies we're expecting you to demonstrate. And if you're
skills
not,
at that point.
If you are not doing this, because as things change, if you're a profit-making entity, for example, look at the airlines.
Yeah.
Airlines are going to be in trouble.
They're already in trouble. They're already experiencing serious crisis.
So how are they going to survive?
Yeah.
Eh? Everyone's business expectations, the business plans we all had at the beginning of the year, has been turned upside down. So everyone is sitting down and looking at X, Y, the various, who are we talking to? Who should we continue our conversations with? Who will still talk to us? How do we do this? Where do we get money? Who will support us? Sure, you get the point. So these are the things we are talking about. And if you don't, I keep saying it, the kind of experience you've had before now and the opportunities you've had to lead or to be managed and you to manage others will come to the fore at this time. That's what we are talking about. If you look at Oyo State, I'd like to mention Oyo State. I'm happy.
Why?
I'm happy because the governor of Oyo State has demonstrated that in the southwest, we can't just be talking about Lagos alone, where things are happening. Are things happening in Oyo State? Yes, we could see them physically.
It should happen in other states, not just Lagos.
It should not just Lagos.
Yes.
Okay? It should happen. And it's not just, propaganda, but you are seeing action. We talked about action. We're seeing action because your mind is working and you have very good team around you.
Emotional intelligence comes into play.
Everything, both your technical and your soft skills and your emotional intelligence, capabilities for you to use to get people to work for you, to influence people, to make people defer to you, to give you what they will not give you before. Look at the challenge between the federal government in the US and the state governments in the US, squabbling for what?
Like New York.
For materials, equipment that they need. Sure, you get the point.
Yes.
So, again, so many things that you could look at. Look at Great Britain. Everyone, the NHS, the Prime Minister is there. He's been taking care of.
Yes.
So everyone is saying they are proud of their civil service.
Yes.
They say, this is the time, we're not afraid. We've got fantastic civil servants, knowledgeable, all the attributes. They are not perfect, but all the attributes to make us to still function at high performance. We've got those skills inside. It's equipment and resources that we do not have, which is why they are collaboration,
partnerships
with different entities
to manage the situation.
So that they can get the kind of result that they are listening. That's what needs to be done. And I think we are in a great season to turn our nation around. We are in a great season to turn our nation around. And like I said, since this crisis began, this is not the time to experiment. Because if you are experimenting, you will fail as a leader. This is the time to drop your ego and gather the right people around you so that you can succeed.
Can transform the situation.
You can get the kind of good you are expecting. This is the time.
So this is a crisis that was not be laid to waste.
Absolutely. In fact, the opportunities are more.
Than the seeming.
Before we came in, you are talking about what are the opportunities that are evident
yes.
now.
Yes.
There are lots of opportunities.
So let's get to the business contingency or continuity plan, the BCP. From your experience, has it been going at your own end? And what will you be saying to fellow CEOs like you at this point?
Well, depending on it doesn't matter the industry that you are in. For example, we have been working from home.
Remotely.
Okay, we've been working from home, exchanging stuff and talking. If there is nothing new to happen, for me to give briefing or for my team to give me briefing, we don't engage. But if anything that is new or if an idea comes, somebody shares on our platform. The same thing for other organizations. Every organization that wants to be alive, as a result of this pandemic, companies are going to close. Reality.
Close, and
businesses are going to close. What I mean, dead. They are going to go. That's what I mean. Enterprises will die. However, here is an opportunity for them to think. Here is an opportunity for them to reach out to people who could give them ideas. All right?
Yeah.
Especially if a firm is heavily indebted to the banks. When I say heavily indebted to the banks, so
Huge exposure.
Yes, they have huge exposure. How do you come out of it? So this is the time to get your experts. Get people to talk to, who you share to say, okay, this is what we do in this season. In this season, because you've selected, you're not working at optimal level during this crisis, the team that is working, they are giving you daily briefing, daily honest reporting of the services you are offering. Daily honest reporting of the services you are offering.
That's very important at this time.
At this time, this is not the time to play pranks, because your business could go under. In our small firm, what we've been doing is we're looking at all options. What do we do here? What do we do there? So how do we do this? How do we engage? How do we do that? So what are the issues we need to address? What were the ones we didn't address the previous time? Yeah. So how do we go further in this? So the same thing, organizations, as CEO, this is the time to call your staff. I can't overemphasize that, because don't forget that this economy was already depressed before.
Yeah.
So we were all hoping that this year maybe
to stabilize after
we will begin to resurrect.
Recession, yes.
You get my point? Yeah. Maybe we will begin to resurrect, and lo and behold, look at what we are faced with. First quarter gone. I can assure you, April is gone. I can assure you, April is gone, because before businesses will come back to normal, let us assume, okay? We're told the lockdown has been extended by 1 week. Is that not so? Now, if that is true, it then means businesses are not likely to officially resume until about 2 weeks' time.
And that again,
but let's give it or take it.
The whole month of April.
So the whole month of April is gone. So let's say businesses start in May. You now start in May. So when you are trying to go back to normal, you're not just going to go back to normal. When offices open in May, should they open in May? What are they going to do? They are also, first of all, going to sit down and be thinking.
Evaluate the situation.
And evaluate how are we going to survive? What are our partners also going through? Yeah. The people whom we also depend on.
Your clients.
Yes, the people we also depend on. Yes. And the people that also depend on us. Because the world, businesses are interconnected. Yeah. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? What are their priorities now?
What's their focus on?
Yes, what are their priorities now? How will we plug into their priorities? Sure, you get the point?
Yes.
So that's what is going to happen. So you're going to use 1 week, even though you've been talking during the crisis. Yeah. You've been having virtual sessions like is currently happening.
Yeah.
So, but now you are back to the office. So 1 week you are trying to brainstorm, depending on the size of your firm, to understand yourselves, to understand your partners, to understand your customers or your clients.
Yes.
You get the point. Then to understand your staff, because your staff too will come with issues.
Come back from the lockdown experience.
And they will come with issues. And they're coming with a plethora of personal issues, which they expect you, the employer, to do what? To respond to. So we will probably begin to see, all things equal by the grace of God, we will probably begin to see businesses come to normal by the end of May.
that will be kicking into mid-year. That's June.
I don't want to make a prediction. I don't want to make a prediction that will make some people sad. We don't see businesses coming until June, really. My estimate, my rough estimate. And coming not fully, because we still have not understood the patterns in our climate of this pandemic and how we are managing it. The most important thing, because there is no vaccine yet.
That still creates the uncertainty.
So that creates the uncertainty. So that's why we are still saying, let's show caution. Let's show caution, because if there was a vaccine, we can go to sleep and say, okay, should it happen, there is something we can use to attack it. Sure, you get
Yes.
So, but that vaccine is still not there.
Yeah.
So that's why even when businesses come up, they are going to be careful, as the case may be.
Then in this period, of course, we have consulting companies that help in capacity building and other point of advisory. What do you see them doing this period, particularly for companies?
Well, I mean, that's one area we also play.
Yeah.
What we've been doing is you talk to your clients, you keep engaging them, but you also, because probably you have an idea where they were going before, you get my point. So what you now be engaging them with, okay, are you doing this? You can be giving some advisory support, gracias, during this period. Some advisory support, gracias, during this period, and see how that supports your clients. You get my point?
Yes.
Most people are working from home. Most of the consulting firms, majority of them are working from home, except those who offices must come on, or if they are providing critical services
and their frontline operations.
Except if they do have that. But if they don't, maybe their IT team.
Yes.
Because you still need technology, to use to offer service for you guys to connect.
Webinars and all that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I think most of them are doing now. The people you are working for, they're closed down. So all you're doing is to try and still create connection, reach out.
Creates value.
What are you guys doing? How can we do, how can we support this? Are you doing this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? You give those freebies, as the case may be.
Now that's very important at this time. So, Mr. John Wese, your reflections for today?
2 words. One is dexterity. I understand the way we all feel. This is day 10. Although it's not easy.
10 days of lockdown is not easy.
This is day 10. You probably never thought you were going to be able to survive this. But here you are. Dexterity talks about being smart, alert, tough. Mental dexterity is what we are talking about now. Not dexterity, the common dexterity that has to do being able to use your hand to do things. No, we're talking about mental alertness.
And at this period, we need a lot of mental health and strength.
You need to be smart, skillfulness. You need to be slick at getting things done. You need to be agile. So these words, you could see them, they are synonyms of dexterity mentally, because you need to work on yourself mentally. We're not talking about physical hands now. You're talking about mental dexterity, the state that helps you to stay through. That helps you to stay through. You get the point? That helps you to stay through. Your mental dexterity needs to grow. You need to dig deep so that it could help you endure this season. You get the point?
Yes.
So, and if you are able to do that, the next word is discipline.
Very important in this.
The discipline to stay through. The discipline to stay through. Every time you and I are disciplined to stay through a season, through a tough period, we come out victorious.
Even the discipline to do the things you set out to do in this period.
During this
is
period.
very important. And there will be cause for evaluation when this phase is over.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Wese.
Thank you also. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Incisive points in this strategic management session. And that will be all for this segment of our strategic management discourse with Mr. John Wese. You can join us for tomorrow's session, same time, 3 p.m. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe.